All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and happy 2021. This is going to be the first video of the new year, so I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve, and I hope we all have a much better 2021 than we did in 2020. So I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, starting out with a Big Ramy story. A lot of people have been posting these old videos of Big Ramy from 2010, showing what Ramy looked like prior to being the bodybuilder that is Big Ramy. So the main video that is going around is from 2010, where Ramy just worked as a trainer at O2 Gyms. In this video I saw on Fernando Arroyo's Instagram page. And primarily this is the era that people are posting the old pictures and throwbacks of Big Ramy from 2010. If you guys remember, 2013 was when Ramy came over to the States, competed as a pro at the New York Pro, and that's where he started to make his name, was around 2013, 2014. Where he started winning and drawing a lot of attention because of how big he was. So just 3 years prior to him being a pro bodybuilder over here in the States, this is what he looked like. And it's kind of interesting to look back and see how young and how much smaller Ramy was. Even though in these videos, he wasn't small. He was a pretty big guy. But compared to what he looks like now, he was small Ramy. So I thought you guys might get a kick out of looking back at some of those old Big Ramy videos. And another thing I thought you guys might enjoy is former WWE superstar Dave Batista, known as the Animal during his wrestling tenure with the WWE. He actually posted a shout-out. I guess he was watching the Olympia. He shouted out Big Ramy, so this kind of ties into the previous story. And this was another thing that I thought you guys might be fascinated by, because I was fascinated by it. It definitely caught me by surprise when I was scrolling through Instagram stories. I wasn't expecting to see Batista shouting out Ramy, and he says in the caption of his post that he was inspired by seeing Big Ramy win the Olympia. I will now be known as Little Ramy or Old Ramy. You decide. So you guys comment in the comment section below which version of Ramy should Batista be known as, little or old. And then he goes on to pose in these stories. But I thought that was a pretty high grade, A-list celebrity shout out for a bodybuilder like Ramy. I thought that was cool. And I know Batista has been at a couple bodybuilding shows this year. I know that he was even at the Tampa Pro earlier on in the year. So Batista is definitely a bodybuilding fan. And I think he was also present in the audience down there in Orlando. So very cool to see Batista supporting Big Ramy in his victory. And then in addition to that, there was another Big Ramy update from Ramy's coach, Chad Nicholls, a.k.a. the Diet Doc on Instagram. He says, here's a never-before-seen picture of Big Ramy. And I thought it would be cool to jump a little further back than a week out from the show. So here is September 24th. So this was almost 3 months out from the Olympia. And I think this was even before he found out that he had the special invite. So this was what Ramy was looking like before he even started his Olympia prep at roughly, that is about 3 months out. And he goes on to say, this should give you a very good idea of the level of panic the team was in. So they're kind of going pretty hard on the panic mode meme that everybody was saying about Big Ramy. The way he was training the last couple weeks with Dennis James. They said, some people said it seemed like he was panicking before the Olympia and he wasn't really ready. Obviously, they're trying to show off, Dennis James and Chad Nicholls and Ramy, how good Ramy was looking. Now, to be fair, back in September, I believe that was either during or right after his prep for the Europa show, which obviously got cut short when he tested positive for the virus. So Ramy was prepping for a different show earlier on in the year, so he was in good shape. But it goes to show, Ramy was in good shape 3 months out from the Olympia. So the whole time, Ramy was on track. We saw the pictures from 1, 2, 3 weeks out of the Olympia, and he was in shape in those. Now we're seeing pictures from 3 months out, and he was in shape in those as well. So it looks like during the entirety of Ramy's prep, he was ready to go. And also, I wanted to mention in Ramy news that we talked about a couple of videos ago, the guy that was poking fun at Phil, mocking Phil backstage, Coach Tao. It has come to my attention that he has been removed. He either resigned or Ramy personally removed him from Ramy's team because of this video and because of other reasons. Ramy, I've heard, was not okay with what was being said to Phil, and Coach Tao has been removed from Ramy's team. So Big Ramy apparently not too happy with that backstage behavior and the kind of unsportsmanlike conduct of Coach Tao. And I think there were some other things as well that Ramy found out about, but we won't go into those. But Coach Tao is now removed from Ramy's team. And I think that was a very good move on Ramy's behalf. I want to see Ramy surrounded by good people. I want to see Ramy succeed, and I don't want to see Ramy's victory kind of with a dark cloud over it because of the actions of people that were on his team. So shout out to Ramy making good decisions here. And also, next up in the news, I wanted to pay tribute to legendary bodybuilding journalist and historian Peter McGough. who passed away yesterday after battling cancer for apparently 8 years. I've seen pretty much every major player in the industry post a positive memory or post a positive reflection on their experience with Peter. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to actually meet him. I never knew him, but by all accounts, he was a really great, genuine guy. He helped a lot of guys get their start, a lot of bodybuilders get their start in this industry and get started with their bodybuilding careers. But unfortunately, he passed away after a long battle with cancer. So I wanted to include that in this video and put a moment of silence for Peter McGough. You hate to see it. Now, next up in the news, I want to thank Labrada Nutrition for being kind enough to sponsor today's video. There's going to be a link in the description box below if you guys want to get yourselves some lean body Labrada shakes. Labrada has been great with this channel, and I really appreciate their continued support. So without further ado, here is the ad. Now, next up in the news, this is a pretty early retirement story here. So Shanique Grant, a.k.a. The Real Fitness Beauty on Instagram, two-time Miss Physique Olympia. At the age of 25, she has opted for an early retirement from the sport. She posted a lengthy video on YouTube kind of detailing her reasons why, but about a week ago, her and her boyfriend both were diagnosed with the virus after their appearance at the Olympia, where, by the way, she looked phenomenal, and some people say she has one of the best structures of any physique competitor. But after everything that happened, she has opted to retire early from the sport of being a physique competitor. She basically says she wants to focus on her family, put her family first, and focus on life outside of competing and life, off the stage. So I know I usually don't cover the women's divisions, but this is a pretty big deal because a lot of people felt that Shanique was one of the best of all time in this division. Now, I know this year she took second at the Miss Olympia in the physique category to Sarah Villegas. So I don't know if that second place finish had anything to do or, how big of an impact that was on her decision to opt for an early retirement. But prior to this Olympia, a lot of people thought she couldn't be beaten. But it's sad to see her go. But I agree with her wholeheartedly. I think it's very important to figure out life outside of the stage. That's what a lot of people realize when they retire from the sport. Is they got to figure out a way to make money and a way to make a living when they're done competing. So I hope she figures out what she needs to figure out. Best of luck to Shanique Grant on her journey. Now, next up in the news, Chris Bumstead revealing some unseen check-ins from his Olympia prep about 2 days out from the Olympia. Now, these are pictures that we definitely did not see prior to the Olympia, that Chris was in this good a shape. I'm definitely convinced that a lot of what Chris was posting was not recent physique updates based on seeing this, because he was in incredible shape at days out from the Olympia. And had we seen that he was looking this good, I don't think anyone would have predicted, I didn't predict that he wasn't going to win the Olympia, but I don't think anyone would have predicted that anyone else could beat him, because Chris looks unbeatable. And he wound up looking unbeatable on stage. He looked fantastic. I think everybody, every classic physique fan kind of came together to agree, whether you're a Chris Bumstead fanboy or not. Chris was dominant at this year's Mr. Olympia. The improvements he made it was undeniable how good he was, how improved he was. And when he came out on stage, I think everybody kind of knew this is your returning, defending, and repeating Mr. Olympia champion. And I think Chris was probably smart not to release these physique updates, because if you think about it, the judges and everybody behind the scenes in the IFBB, they watch what these guys are posting. They look at all this stuff on social media. And if Chris had posted these updates where he looks like he's in phenomenal shape and something went wrong prior to the show and he didn't look as sharp on stage as he looked in these updates, the judges might hold him against him because they had higher expectations because he was posting these crazy physique updates. And I've heard some people say that's what they thought happened with Breon. Breon posted a lot of physique updates where he looked incredible, he looked crazy, his conditioning looked nuts, and he didn't really look like he looked in those updates on stage. He looked a little bit less sharp on stage than he looked in those updates, and a lot of people were saying they thought that had something to do with why he placed where he did, in third, not even in second. And the final story that I have for you guys today, a lot of people were sending this to me, some more strict curl news. Arms Corleone, who has posted several videos with some very impressive cheat curl training sessions, all of them being in excess of 200 pounds for reps. His latest video, he's messing around with 220 pounds, then he's messing around with 242 pounds. Then he moves up to 264 pounds for a couple of reps. But then he really starts messing around with some big boy weight. So this is like what World's Strongest Man competitors and past winners, this is like their best cheat curl. 308 pounds, 140 kgs, which is significantly like 50 pounds heavier than the current, that's like almost 60 pounds heavier than the current strict curl world record. Now, granted, when he gets the 308 at the peak of his kind of pyramid reps there, he uses quite a bit of cheat curl form in doing so, but very impressive cheat curls from Arms Corleone. Hopefully one day we do get to see him compete in an actual strict curl competition where he's not using his back. But I have been impressed, and a lot of you guys have been very impressed as well by some of the numbers and some of the weight that he's been putting up and the way that he reps it out. Even though they're cheat curls, he does most of them, with the exception of this 140 kgs, with relatively strict form. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did, in fact, enjoy it. I hope you guys have a great and happy, safe, and healthy New Year's. I hope everybody has a much more successful and fiscally better year in 2021 than they had in 2020. I know it was rough on a lot of people, including myself. But I hope everyone starts this year off great, and I hope it continues to get better from here on out. So I love you guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already, because I got a bunch of videos ready for you guys in 2021. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.